Hey there, beautiful souls. Jess, Intuitive Angel Healer here with your Grounded. Thank you so much for joining our podcast today and welcome to another episode of Your Angels Are Talking. Are you listening? Inspirational stories of angelic and universal miracles. This podcast is all about the magic that the universe contains and to help open your eyes and mind to the fact that we turn a blind eye to spirit, and this causes us to miss out on the joy and beauty each day holds. Abundance is all around us and comes in many different forms. But how often do we take time to count our blessings, to say thank you to the universe just for waking us up today? Or just be content with the love inside our souls. If you are wondering or asking yourself right now, how do I break up with the fear and embrace the miracles of my angels so I can create the life that I desire? Well, the universe has brought you to the right podcast. Today, our episode is Gina is my spirit animal, and it's all about spirit animals. And I'll tell you the little story about this, but I wanted to continue on about our discussion about spirit animals that we had in our first episode of the season. We were talking about hawks and how animals show up. And so I wanted to go a little deeper into that and have this whole episode be about spirit animals. Mostly today we are going to be talking about owl. As you can see, I have my owls on again today, and owl is definitely my spirit animal that has swooped right in. And we're also going to be talking about the spirit animal of deer, because these are the two animals that surely love to show up in my life. So spirit animals can be interchangeable depending on what you're going through at the moment. You usually have, I would say your spirit animal is this. You'll notice this most of all of your life. It's there with you nonstop. That's how you know that's your spirit animal. For example, a turtle would definitely be my spirit animal, and a butterfly. Those are like my two, almost like my guardian angel spirit animals, if you want to call them that, because those have been with me forever. I've always had an affinity to butterflies and to turtles, and I have a tattoo of both. And sea turtles are interesting because, you know, they symbolize being a strong mother, for one, because when sea turtles go and lay their eggs on the shore, they only have enough energy to go lay their eggs on the beach, and then hopefully they had enough food and energy to make it to actually put it in a safe spot so predators couldn't get their eggs and they would be able to hatch. But some of them don't, and they only make it to like the beginning of where the tide starts, and therefore those aren't gonna, that's like a free buffet to all the predators that are around. There's actually some people that help those turtles because they want to see the sea population rise, and so they safely relocate those poor turtles and babies to a safe spot in the beach so they can hatch and they don't get ran over by all the people swimming in the ocean. So that's a fun fact. But the mother turtle would love to be there with its babies, but unfortunately it only has enough energy and there's only enough for it to go lay the eggs and then swim back to the sea. It's got to make it back to the sea or it's going to die. And then you got to have the circle of life kind of thing. So the parents are just as important as the babies, just as human parents are as important as human babies. So that's kind of interesting that I have that turtle. My whole life has been about survival. So back to Owl as my spirit animal, and I have named her Gina. And this was when I was on Instagram. I named her Gina because spirit speaks to me in different ways, and it loves to, because I'm on social media, and it sounds silly, but when spirit's going to utilize what you're on the most, it's not going to send you a smoke signal if you never look out the window kind of thing. So obviously it's kind of funny that, yes, I do have all kinds of fun stuff pop up as notifications, and spirit uses that. And one day I had a shady character around me who likes to pretend there's something they're not. And it was funny because spirit had a video of owls pop up, 3 of them, and it made me laugh because when you're not paying attention to the shock value of it anymore, it shows up in various different forms. Owls symbolize different things depending on who you chat with over the years. Let's get into what owls mean and why they show up in your life. And there's ultimately they're to help bring what's hidden in the darkness to the light and bring wisdom about the darkness so you can stop basically being feared. But they show up when you start developing your intuition, and or if you're maybe have a group of people around you that are claiming to be something they're just not. And I've had owl experiences very much in that way. So owls represent wisdom, magic, a deep connection, an intuitive spirit, and an ability to see what's hidden, sees the true reality beyond the deceit, and announces a big life change transition. So the owls had a bad rap over the years. Its connection to the darkness, it is a connection to death. But death is not always bad, and depending on who you speak to, death can be renewal and transition. And that's actually how the Native Americans view it. They consider it a form of death, transformation, and rebirth. Now, Christians, they view it as a prophetic vision. It's basically when owls come in, owls symbolize in Christianity, they're birds of prey and they're scavenger birds. So they feast on food that's not only alive, but it can already be dead as well. And this is considered unclean and not kosher. So if you were only ate kosher food. So that's why Christians consider it unclean and an abominable creature. And it is considered a symbol of what's behind the darkness. So it's usually kind of scary when it's seen in that sense. So it was considered unclean and not kosher in Christianity because it was considered an abominable creature, and it was compared to like dragons and crocodiles and bats and squid and stuff like that. And actually Moses in the Bible commanded Israelites not to eat the owl as part of those other things that they weren't to eat. They weren't to consume it as food. And this is Leviticus 11 13, 19 interesting karmic and angel numbers. So, like these dragons and bats, they were commanded not to be eaten as food. So that is why they got one of the reasons why they have a bad rap in Christianity. Also, they're a bringer of death. They are a messenger. They're also considered a messenger of the underworld, a shapeshifter. They help you to explore the unknown magic of life. And they're trying to help you to have observant listening, be observant in your situation. It's more listening at this point than reacting. Don't react when you start seeing owls, and owls have shown up before a lot. If you have someone hiding stuff around you, maybe a teenager, maybe you have a kid transferring into, that's when I started seeing a lot more of them, is the transfer of becoming a little kid to an actual teenager. So the owl comes around, and ultimately the thought of Christianity is that they come around to teach us deep wisdom, and we use this wisdom to help strengthen our faith and not let the darkness take over our lives. So, like I said, owls are representative of more of a symbolic death. Owls are representative of death. They're the messengers, but it's not so much of death of a thing, it's more of a symbolic death. And people who fear change, those are the ones that consider it them bad luck symbols, or people who are trying to hold something back, because the owl uncovers the truth in the situation, and it helps awaken a higher version of yourself. So usually the owl's coming in because maybe you're being manipulated by someone. Maybe you just don't want to let go. Maybe you just don't want to come to reality. So ultimately, I feel owls are a symbol of wisdom, and so depending on which way you look at it, ultimately owls can help you clear things out when you're just unable to have a clear view. And death, just like the tarot card, doesn't mean that it's an ending. Know that you have to have endings to have beginnings. But if you don't let go of the ending, that's when you feel stuck and you're never able to truly get that new beginning. And I always say you want to go ahead and choose before the universe chooses for you, because when the universe chooses, it just sorts things out the way that it was ultimately supposed to be, and there's no free will and choice. 9 often pops up with owls, and number 9 is a number of endings. 9 is a number that is trying to tell you to release what no longer serves you, because the past is no longer part of your reality. It was part of your reality at one point, but now when you attach to the energy of the past, now you're just creating blocks for the future, because in the universal laws that go round and round every day, that energy is already past. It's only there in your mind that you keep recreating it. So the owl kind of comes and clears the field for you. I had an owl actually fly at me in the daytime, by the way, one day at an event, and it was the craziest thing of my life. I had a little panic attack, sounded a little cuckoo to the people around me, but I didn't care because I know that, first of all, owls don't fly during the day. They're night animals. They're birds, they scavenge for food at night. So this owl came at me during the day, and it was a barred owl, and it flew almost to my face, and then it proceeded to land on the roof and skid a little bit and scared the holy potatoes out of me, because it was like my dad in spirit. Because let me tell you, if you ever have an owl come at you, that is spirit. That is your angels coming at you full force and saying, hey, look around you, observe your environment, because you're not seeing it clearly. You're seeing it through illusionary rose-colored glasses. And I kind of went like that and went, oh, well, I need to go ahead and make sure I go ahead and check on all this. But now numerology is one of those things that I love too, because when your angel, your guardian angel specifically, is trying to get in touch with you, you'll see your numbers in threes. Today I saw triple B's, which is my guardian angel, and it's always like I'm talking something about Jesus, the creator, angels, something to do with that, or I'm just simply not having a very good, like I don't feel very good about the day and I need a little encouragement, and I always see triple B's pop up, and that's one of my guardian angels' ways to tell me, hey, it's all right if you're having a bad day, because I'm here, and I hear you, I validate you, and that's makes me feel good. So I definitely see nines, and they can be anywhere. They can be on a clock, they can be on social media feed, but 999, if you see that a lot and you see owls coming into your life, owls represent a big change. That's what the death card in tarot represents. So if you get that one, you're like, whoa, it doesn't mean you're going to have a physical death. It's more of a spiritual, symbolic death. The old stuff that the old you needs to symbolically die so the new you can be resurrected. And so if you're starting to see triple numbers, especially, that is your guardian angel saying, hey, I hear you, hold on, we're going there. And 0 is the number of infinity, because 1 is the number of beginnings. So it's only fitting that 9 is the number of endings. But endings don't have to be so bad, because if you live in the moment and you enjoy every moment that you have, you don't have to hold on to all those old moments just to make it through your life. Most of us hold on to those old moments because they're the only comfort that we have left in this life, because tragedy has struck us so bad. But my angels are starting to show me, hey, even at 40, you can reawaken your soul, and you can redo things the way that you ultimately wanted to do. And this time you don't have people controlling you. And I feel like I got a second chance. I feel like the death card is a symbolic death for me. I got a chance to reawaken and actually go at it a second time, because I've been successful in my life. This is a new thing of starting, podcasting and being a spiritual life coach, and an angel intuitive healer. Never thought I would do either of those things in my life. I thought I did sales. I was a medical assistant. I was a CNA. I did those things. Never thought I'd be doing this, but hey, here I am. And so I'm proof that if you believe in your dreams and you just get up and do it for you, and you don't ask for validation for everyone around you, you can do whatever you want. You can create the life that you want, but you gotta get out of your head, and you gotta stop worrying about everyone that surrounds you. But pay attention, even if you do have people that maybe are a little untrustworthy around you, they're around you to teach you a lesson. Everybody comes into your life as a lesson, a blessing, or both. And you can turn your lessons into blessings if you choose to do that, if you choose to listen to your soul side and your intuition side versus your ego side. And that's kind of where the owl pops up and comes and helps you clear out that ego side and just tells you the truth of the fact of the matter. Also, a fun thing to wrap up about the owl symbol is that you can actually use it in your house as a deflector of evil energy. And I have a little figurine, and it's fun. It's hear no, see no, speak no evil owls, but I only found one of them, and it was a see no evil owl, and it cracked me up because it was just, I was walking specifically to find an owl figurine when this owl popped up in my, started popping up really a lot about 6 months ago. And I went and I looked over and started laughing in the thrift store that I went to, because I knew there was going to be an owl figurine. And sure enough, he was sitting there with his little hands over his eyes laughing at me. And I got that one and put them up by the window. But when you do that, they actually, that's like how you protect your house. You can also put a line of salt by your front door. That helps keep out the evil on the other side. It's by your threshold. And turning up a a broom upside down, where the broom part is up against the wall, and that will actually keep uninvited guests away from your house. So if you don't want people to pop up, you can, that's actually a really old trick, kind of, I think that's more in the pagan realm, but that's a really neat trick that people know. And if you guys know any of these tricks, please leave us a message if you're on Anchor, or you can drop a comment on YouTube and let us know what you think about this, or share your thoughts of your encounters with owl spirit animal. I love to hear these, and I will share them on air. I know that I took a little break from all of this, so some of you may not know that we're back on season 2, but that's okay, because I know the angels will send y'all on over here to come chat about this, because this is all about you guys just sharing the love and light and the miracles that can happen when you stop worrying and actually just get in the divine flow. This isn't about religion. It's just about things that make sense, and the divine flow of the universe, and all the crazy devices and methods that were put here, because we were all put here as special, different human beings that have different purposes and different skill sets and different gifts that we're supposed to use and share. So I can't be like you, and you can't be like me. I mean, we can share different traits, but we ultimately can't, I can't wake up every day to be like Sally Sue, because that's not going to help me. I'm Jessie, and I have to live my purpose out, and you guys got to live your purpose out. So know that when you got an owl show up and you start having nines show up a lot, know that, and they always come in threes. That's when guardian angel is around you. It comes in threes, and it's just to simply let you know, hey, you got big changes coming around, maybe some 555s in there too. But it's giving you a second lease on life. So you have the choice to either look at a fear-based mindset and say, oh no, I'm scared of change because change is scary, but it is worth it. And I'll promise you that, because I didn't know if I would get through my change. And I know that the creator won't give you anything that you can't handle. Sometimes you just got to dig deep. The second spirit animal that I would like to chat with you guys about is the deer. I'm out here in Colorado, so therefore you can imagine how many deer are around us, and bears and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. But deer is actually a spirit animal, and it's come in different forms. And so when you start getting attuned with spirit animals, first of all, when you start getting attuned with spirit signs and symbols, you start understanding things aren't a coincidence. Our angels and spirit talk to us through things that we pay attention to, because it takes a lot of energy for them to just whip up a message for us, because they're very high vibrating angelic beings. So they vibrate at a very high frequency. It's easiest for them to talk through our electronics, but animals show up because a lot of us are in tune, obviously, with animals. We love nature, and we pay attention when certain animals show up. So deer show up. And if you've ever watched a documentary on deer, deer are pack animals, but they also are able to adapt to city living almost better than the natural surroundings, because they know how to adapt. They're very adaptable animals. And that's why you see them in your backyard in the middle of a suburb. Couldn't figure that out for the longest time. And I found out that it's no problem for them to be inside, in between a house, and they watch humans. they're a pack animal. They symbolize spiritual authority, and they're a symbol of peace and serenity. So they have instinctual energy. They always have the doe goes out first before the buck to make sure everything's good. They have an independence that they show, and they actually have their antlers show regeneration. And so a fun and crazy event happened the other night while I was sleeping. Apparently, a buck decided to stand right outside of my window and hold my roommate hostage outside in the cold and would not let her come in. I got shown this picture of the deer, and I was like, this was a huge deer with a huge rack, and it was very commanding, and it was not, yeah, I was afraid, like, you walk up and you were going to get bolted. So I think about after an hour, she was able to finally, get the deer to go away. One day I looked in the backyard, and it was funny. There's this one antler deer and he was in the neighbor's backyard, and there was a fence, there's a wooden fence in between, and it was hopping back and forth trying to figure out how to get over the fence. And we ended up naming it Uno. And it made me laugh because all I was thinking was open season, with the deer, and he always had he finally got his big beautiful rack, and then they broke it. And he had one deer, you know, Mr. Weenie and Boog. Another time I came out here and a deer, we were going to clean up the backyard, and my guy went up in front and I was in the back, and I was getting ready to put my gloves on, and I looked up and this doe just started, it was like teenager deer, you know, but it started coming up at me, and I was like, whoa, and then it just went around me, and it was probably about 3 feet away. So I've noticed deer show up when you are maybe craving that family tribe of knowing you're accepted. It's a motherly feeling, that compassion, to show compassion. And one more fun experience that just happened the other day. This has all happened in maybe the past year, but this just happened literally a couple days ago. 7 deer, I looked up and 7 deer started crossing the street. It was one buck and the rest were does, and they were like the teenagers. So, but it was crazy because it was 7 deers, and I watched each one hop over the fence kind of like sheep. And if you look at number 7, 7 is a number of faith. The universe was created in 7 days. So when you start seeing number 7, 7 is a number of patience, choices, spirituality, and ambition. When I first started this journey, you guys, if you read my bio, I started seeing the number 711 and 777 so much that that's why I started my spiritual awakening in 2017, because it was unmistakable that it was no coincidence. Day and night, I saw 711, and I often see 777 on things like, well, obviously the casino, because it's a number of good luck. But I see it on car license plates frequently. And when I started seeing that number, and this was at the beginning of my spiritual awakening, and it pops up, not as much now, but it pops up when I'm feeling a little, you know, I'm in a bad place, or I'm losing my faith. Maybe I'm getting sucked into a societal mindset of control and judgment that is unhelpful. And I'm being asked to hold on to my faith a little bit longer and know that the more positive thoughts that I put into the situation and the more assertiveness that I use, it will allow the situation to turn out correctly. And also stop outlining my prayers, because when you pray to your angels, when you pray to your creator, or when you talk to your angels, it's simply you're praying to your creator, but your angels are here to be the messengers, to send that message up to him, to your creator. Your creator and the divine all know the best way, and they know they know the best way to handle and solve a situation, because they can see down the road 50 miles that you can't see. They can see that car wreck that's coming up, and they know the best guidance to give you. But our egos tend to talk us out of that guidance, and you know, the good angel and the bad angel on our shoulder that we constantly fight with to see if we think we know more than our angels do. And I have been shown quite a few times that I have been wrong. So therefore, your angels are asking you to have faith, and outlining is where you tell your angels how to do it, by the way, and or coming out with the outcome of what the prayer should be. So know that the prayer is the request, and you are requesting to have help for your highest good. And the divine knows what is your highest good. So if you can release that and let it go, and then allow your angels to give you what is your highest good, not what you think is your highest good, that's when the miracles and the blessings happen. But a lot of us, we can't allow us to let go of attachment to outcome. So if that's something that you struggle with, it's okay. Some people say that, you know, they come up with all these fun things to tell you that it's unforgivable and you have to pray this way and you have to talk to your creator this way. And yeah, it's a bunch of malarkey. You talk to whoever and however the way that you want to do it, but know that you don't need to hand over your power and beg for it either. When you're praying and you're asking, you're trying to get faith, you can pray and it's simply a request of what you feel that you need that is best for you. Now, winning the lottery is probably people feel that it's best for them and it would be fun. I would agree. But is it really for your highest good? If you got $1 million tomorrow, would your life change for the better or for the worse? Literally, when you think about it, would you be able to handle all that money? A lot of people think they could, and then all of a sudden, that's when you get demons on good behavior, that all of a sudden the universe gave them a karmic lesson of which way you gonna go, sir, left or right? Here's $1 million. Are you going to use it for good and build that charity you said you would always build if I granted you your prayer of winning the lottery? Or are you going to use this for bad and go do drugs and go hurt people with it? You know, the choice is yours because we all have free will, but that is also, I always say that you're going to get your lesson right before your blessing. So when you have something that is desire come up and you know it's not for your highest good, you know in your soul it's not for your highest good, and you can live without it, it would be okay if, you know, some things, it would be okay if I had that much extra money, but some things absolutely not. Drugs are not okay to be in my life. What purpose do they serve but to help bring me down to the darkness? No, thank you. So that's where free will comes in. But you always have a choice. Know that you always have a choice, and then dependent on your choice is how your future builds. So if you choose to go and rob a bank, then you might have the karmic choice of getting, you know, the karmic result of getting caught and doing time. So there's always a choice in the matter, and we give away our power when we say we have no choice, because that is something that has just been ingrained in us for so long. Know that we always have a choice. It's not always the popular choice, I have learned that. But you do have a choice. And once you make that choice, that's when the angels and your creator can always go and build your destiny. So know that the blueprint of your destiny is there, but your future is not quite created yet. It's dependent on the choices that you're making today at this moment, whether or not you're able to create a good, happy, bright future, or one that maybe is going to be a little challenging and bumpy. So how does the deer show up in your life? I would love to hear your stories, tales of deer spirit animals. So know that when you pray, your prayers are always answered. And prayer is where you send the message up, for your request, and meditation is where you receive the message back from Spirit. Know that prayers are always answered, but it's up to you to attune yourself and expand your mind on the answer that's going to come back, because it's not going to be a phone call from the angels above to, shoot you over that email. I wish they would do that. That would be fun. But no, it's actually kind of interesting if you think about it. That's why I have the creative spirit, and I have a huge imagination. So I actually enjoy spirit animals, symbols, signs, and I could talk about numbers and all this. I could talk about angel signs all day long. So let's hear about your experience with the deer spirit animal as your symbol. I'd love to hear your stories about it. Know that when these spirit animals show up, it's to help you. It's there to show up to confirm to you that the universe is listening. And if you take the time to find out what the spirit animal is showing up to you for, then you will know the answer to your prayer. So take time, even if you have to Google just really briefly, because know that it's spirit talking to you. Spirit confirms in threes. I like to tell people that. And so you can actually ask for a spirit animal to show up in your life, or, just ask Spirit, please send me a confirmation of what I need to know. And if you start seeing a symbol or a number or song or something, focus in on what Spirit's trying to tell you, because if it keeps repetitively showing you it's doing that because that's how your brain understands, hey, there's something out of whack here. That's where you get the deja vu feeling. And if you can focus in and align yourself with the meaning, because everything has a meaning. Sometimes people think we have wishful thinking, and it's not about wishful thinking. It's everything really has a meaning, and there's no coincidences in the universe. And the further along you get on this journey, you will totally understand that. So I would love to hear your thoughts and about this episode, and any spirit animals, even if it's not the deer or the owl that maybe follow you. I would love to hear about any future episodes that you would like to hear about. And also, I have a really cool offer for all my awesome listeners and viewers out there. If you like, subscribe, and comment on my YouTube channel or my Apple iPod cast or Spotify podcast, I have a holistic guide to helping relieve your anxiety that I just created. It's a 30-page guide and workbook made by yours truly. And it is a $19.99 value, but I am giving it out free to any listeners that click on the link. The links contained, the offers contained below. Click on the link, follow the instructions, and I will send you this really cool PDF as a thank you for being a listener of this podcast. Well, there you have it, beautiful souls. Another powerful hour of angelic miracles that you have just personally witnessed. I have goosebumps. My angels are definitely surrounding this podcast, and I would like to express my gratitude to all the archangels in my spirit team and my creator as we wrap up our podcast and say thank you for always being there, even when I had a hard time believing. Thank you. Amen. And thank you, beautiful souls, for tuning in to another episode of Your Angels Are Talking. Are you listening? Inspirational stories of angelic and universal miracles. Tune in next week to share in on more of the love and miracles that our angels create for us daily. This is Jess, Intuitive Angel Healer, sending all of you beautiful souls love and light and healing angel vibes. Take care.